Marner Mania set to hit the Maple Leafs again. The MSG crowd rips into the home side, and the Flames are fielding trade calls on at least 3 key players. With the details, here's our insider, Darren Dreger. Dregs, after 9 seasons with the Leafs, tonight Mitch Marner faces them for the first time since the breakup. How do you see this playing out?
Well, obviously this one has been on the calendar since the beginning of the year. The Vegas Golden Knights, the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to say all the right things. They're going to say this is just another game on the NHL regular season schedule. It's not that, certainly, for Mitch Marner or his buddies who still play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Of course they're going to focus. They're going to play the game that they need to play to help their teams win. But there's some nervous anticipation, especially from Marner's perspective going into this. Now, what helps is the fact that Marner and the Vegas Golden Knights played last night, Wednesday night, and an overtime win over the Los Angeles Kings. So he doesn't have a whole lot of time to dwell on his time spent with Austin Matthews and his buddies with the Maple Leafs. It is more about winning, but undoubtedly this one is going to be different for the Marner family. Now, I say that, Gino, but let's be honest here. He's got an arena full of support in Vegas tonight on TSN. He's not going to have that next week in Toronto when the Vegas Golden Knights return and he plays in front of that hometown crowd for the first time.
No kidding. Speaking of hostile environments, the boos at MSG started early last night and morphed into Fire Drury chants. And who can blame them? They gave up 8 and got crushed by the visitors. They're now dead last in the Eastern Conference. Where do the Rangers go from here now, Dregs?
Well, there's a whirlwind of speculation around what Chris Drury, the general manager of the New York Rangers, might do. I mean, you're right. That is a nasty building when things aren't going well. And the Dolan family who owns the New York Rangers is part of it. They can hear it. And undoubtedly, there's an emotional impact on what Drury might be able to do moving forward. Lots of speculation around Artemi Panarin. We know he's got the expiring contract, Gino, but he also has a no-move clause. So what direction is Panarin willing to go in? There's been some speculation and talk that, you know, the Panarin camp has historically engaged in what an extension might look like with the New York Rangers, and the belief is it doesn't look good from Panarin's perspective. So we do have to wait a little bit longer to see how this plays out. You know, is he willing, if there is no extension that can be negotiated, is he willing to present a list? And how short is that list? You always look at the normal teams, right? The Florida Panthers, the Dallas Stars, the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, maybe there's a couple of other teams that would express interest in the star that Artemi Panarin is. But if he doesn't present that list and he decides that there is an extension or isn't an extension that works for him, he could absolutely walk into free agency and the New York Rangers get nothing in return. That would be worst case scenario for Drury and the Rangers.
Speaking of bodies that could be on the move, our early trade bait list is out on tsn.ca today. The Flames have got 3 players, Rasmus Andersson, Nazem Kadri, and Blake Coleman in the top 10. Sounds like Craig Conroy is going to get super busy, Dregs.
Yeah, good busy though. You know, when you look at it from a Flames perspective, this isn't a tear-down, full-on rebuild, but they do know that they need to get younger. And when you're looking at Rasmus Andersson, doesn't it feel like his name has been out there for a long, long time? I would submit a year, maybe even more than that. And the interest in Rasmus Andersson, the talented defenseman, has been consistent, and it's going to continue to develop. So it does definitely seem like he is priority 1 for the Calgary Flames. And if Conroy is able to get what he needs from Rasmus Andersson via trade and gets what he needs from Nazem Kadri, if in fact Nazem Kadri is traded, and many believe that it's likely he will be, then I think he's in a position where he can back off a little bit. I'm curious to see the name of Blake Coleman out there. I know that teams are calling Conroy and asking about Blake Coleman. It's because of his winning resume. This guy has won Stanley Cups. But it's also the type of player he is and the type of man that he is. But those are characteristics and attributes, Gino, that the Calgary Flames need. You can't trade everybody. You've got to have a backbone to the culture side of your team. And Blake Coleman is definitely that. So I would downplay the speculation around Blake Coleman. Anything is possible, but I would say his place on that trade list in terms of how high he is a little misplaced at this point. It's unlikely he gets dealt.
Wow. Flames are currently 30th in the league. The only teams below them, the Jets and Canucks, 31st and 32nd. Lots more coming up on the full version of Insider Trading with Dregs and CJ on the early edition of SportsCenter.